Yes, it seems we are starting to be live. There is an echo. I will check here.
Yep.
I will check about the echo. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. There is an echo from where it's coming.
Okay.
I'll try to do something about it.
Okay.
Just bear with me for 1 second, please.
No problem.
Okay. Yes, we are live now. I can see that we are live now on Bridges of Life.
Yes.
Okay. So, welcome, Mr. Rajesh Singh, to Bridges of Light.
Thank you, Dr. Bassam. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
There will be a little bit delay. It's my pleasure. So the sound takes a few seconds to reach you.
Yes, no problem. I'm patient with it.
Okay, very good. Let us see here what's
Greetings
going
everyone who's
on.
watching us live.
Okay, sir. So, Mr. Rajesh Singh from India, you are hypnotherapist, certified hypnotherapist, leadership coach, life coach,
Yes.
and so many other titles. It will not be easy for me to say all these titles, so I want you please to introduce yourself to the audience. Please go ahead.
Yes. So my name is Rajesh Singh from India, founder of Happiness Solutions as a spiritual leadership company from India. I have been functional into self-help field for over almost now a decade and a half, over 15 years of experience. From being a clinical hypnotherapist, initially the client, and then something that really touched me, as we say, intrigued by how the power of the subconscious mind works, and then on the path of spirituality and the spiritual growth. We all are growing with every moment, and that is where I landed up becoming a teacher with Eka Foundation, and started my own company into this field. So with neuro-linguistic programming and clinical hypnotherapy, past life regression, I've now, I think, treated over 2,000 people in my career so far.
That's really great. And you have something like 15 years experience in the field, right?
Yes, decade and a half, 15 years plus.
Let me say hi to Mariella, Samra, and Wadad as well. Most welcome, and it's a pleasure for me to have you here.
Thank you.
Mr. Singh, we will be talking about the dimensions of happiness, and we will be specifically taking the journey to know how to raise our spirit above duality.
Yes.
To experience spirituality.
Yes.
This title is very complicated.
Complicated. So the word spirituality, the field of spirituality, we all aspire to grow spiritually. But
Yes.
Many of us perhaps at times misunderstand spirituality with religious or religion or religious rituals. However, if you look at it, spirituality is way beyond religion, caste, creed. What we believe spirituality is perhaps is a very relative map for each one of us. Is where we thought that maybe today we should on this platform discuss even the meaning of the word spirituality. As linguistically, if you break this word, spirituality is spirit and duality. So when your spirit rises above duality, and what are we referring to as duality is when we grow through the dimensions, of cosmogenetic spiritual evolution. When we talk about the first three dimensions are the animal dimensions when we talk about. So when we rise above the judgment, when we rise above the concept of the dark and the light, or the very concept of right and wrong, defining everything into black and white, is where we'll end up judging too many people, and that judgment becomes the biggest hurdle. So we are not only judging others, but we are also judging our own selves. And that is where I think we on that judgment fail to walk the path with our highest potential. So that is where I think we rise above the duality, and the we that I'm referring to is the spirit, the experience that we are here for. And that spirit, when it rises above duality, is where the journey to spirituality or true spiritual being begins. That's what is the title of this whole presentation. Yes. Over to you, Bassam. Dr. Bassam, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
It seems
Yes.
we are experiencing a little problem. It seems we are experiencing a little problem with the connection. Although here we are in Abu Dhabi, we have very strong internet. I don't know what is the reason. Anyways, so you were talking about the duality. So this duality is in our dimension on the earth. Is it something touchable? Is it something physical that we can read and see and experience on our level as a human being, as physical human beings, or we are talking on a different level?
Can we also, when we talk about a certain element of duality, when we are talking, so within us there are two parts. If we look into it, like when we even say today's talk is dimensions of happiness. So when we are referring to the dimensions, these dimensions are the dimensions of horizontal growth and the vertical growth that we talk about. So horizontal growth is all the material desires that we have, all the manifestation stories which come from our void and incompletions, is where people look for gathering wealth, the best car, own house, luxurious lifestyle, having many relationships or friends and all that. So that's a horizontal growth that we are talking about. But the real growth that we're looking at the level of soul, is our spiritual dimensional growth. Now, that is where these dimensions play a major role, where living an absolutely ignorant life, the first step into spirituality begins with self-awareness. Because we all want to be aware about ourselves. Why am I getting angry? Because that is where I think our first question, why me, begins. So from why me to why not me, and when we are also asking for few answers of certain illogical questions to which we haven't been able to find our answers so far, we seek answers with self-awareness. That why am I getting angry? Why am I guilty? Why am I suffering? Why am I victimized? Why am I insecure? Why am I going through this pain? All these why questions will lead to your first step into spirituality, when we say. And that gets fulfilled only when we find with the awareness of what we are. So with awareness, we actually discover ourselves. From discovery, because obviously you cannot master something which you do not know what it is all about. So your own life or your own personality, from self-awareness, you come into self-discovery.
Sorry, let me just make it mute here. Yeah.
And
Okay,
from so from self-discovery, you then come into self-realization. Now, self-realization is that important segment of life where you come and you say, yes, Now I am aware of what is happening. So from the awareness that I was getting angry, I come into realization that now I can do something about that anger. Is where you've grown to the next level of evolution on the path. And from the self-realization to self-actualization, that actually I am the creator of my own destiny, or I am the creator and the Lord and the master of my own life, which I can design and manifest what I want to, is where I think the topmost position in the hierarchy, where we say Maslow's hierarchy, the self-actualization actually comes about. But the journey begins with self-awareness. So this spiritual dimensions that we are saying for people to come and discover, first is the awareness bit. And that is what we are going here to explore, that in our awareness, how much judgmental have we become in the due course of time from the way we were conditioned from a child. And that plays a major role.
Yeah, just I'm trying to share. I'm trying to share our
yes, please.
This information. Okay, so excuse my ignorance in technology. Okay. Okay, now we are back.
Yes.
Okay, so we are back now. We have a question. We have a question.
Yes.
From Mariella. She's saying, Mr. Singh, can you kindly tell me how I can raise my spirit to get spirituality and happiness higher and higher?
Yes. Bassam, can we share my PPT so that we can go in that flow and then we take questions? I'm sure some of the questions will get answered in the process. Can you share the PPT? Thank you.
I will try.
Yes.
Yeah. I will try to do so.
So raising the vibrations,
1 second,
as we say.
Okay, can you start talking, please? It will come. I hope it will come soon.
Yes, it will come. So first, even before the spirituality, since it says dimensions of happiness and then going into spirituality, because we all seek happiness and there are factors. The moment we say, I want something, which means that we are, we all want to be happy. So the moment you say we all want to be happy and what happiness is all about, so there is also a presupposition when you say I want something that I don't have it. So when I'm not happy, there are two basic reasons which are taking away my happiness. Either it is the environment or a situation that I'm not able to control, or it is my own story. I have faltered somewhere. So out of these two factors, where either I have faltered somewhere or it is something that is external to me, we all discover the path of spirituality when we go through pain. See, nobody who's happy and fulfilled and is too satiated in life would ever inquire about, okay, what is the path of fulfillment of spirituality? In fact, the pain becomes the entry point for most of us to come on the path to discover why me or why not me. And from there, our aspirations to walk on the highest path comes about, which is what spirituality leads to. So when now we talk about spirituality, it is basically accessing the dimensions through which we feel first secured. Because that security and happiness Because happiness is a byproduct of how fulfilled and how the inner security leads to a certain satisfaction in life. And that is where your
Just a
lower
second.
chakra.
Rajesh.
Can you hear the sound?
Excuse me, because there is a distraction, there's some problem in the communication, and they are not hearing us very well. Welcome, Hassana. So, can you please repeat what you have said because we have a problem with the connection?
I understand. So I'm saying our aspirations to spirituality begins with a certain fulfillment of, what we are seeking at a basic level first. So we have 7 chakras. Some of you who are into spiritual inclinement, we all know that we have 7 chakras. So the first 3 chakras are the basic chakras: the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and solar chakra. So when our life with awareness is completely satiated with certain experiences which are driven by our animal instincts, where the survival is taken care of, the bonding, the luxuries, the wants, and the dynamism, and several other plots of sexuality that are fulfilled at the sacral chakra level, and our need to control and the ego games that we play. These 3 games we've played enough across lifetimes, or even in this lifetime. When you drop and satiate these 3 chakras, is where your high rise from the communication plot, from the love and compassion that we talk about, or when you walk through the gratitude. These are some of the values that take you ahead into the evolution of your higher chakras, where from heart you connect with people in your society, communicate with higher and motivated self-esteem that we have a vision for the larger good, and hence your spiritual purpose gets fulfilled. That is what spirituality, that will take you onto the path further. Unless your lower 3 chakras, which are animal chakras, completely worked upon, or you worked enough on these 3 chakras, your desires that are driven by the animal instincts within you first. Hello? Bassam got disconnected.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm back. I'm back. My back. Hi, can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, well, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you, Bassam.
Yes.
I think your network is weak. Hello? Yes, Bassam.
Okay, we are back.
Yes, can you hear me again?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear
Yeah.
you. Okay,
There's a,
there's a question. There is a
yes.
question on the screen right now. Can you read it?
Yes. Do you think my prayers to God are good enough to make my spiritual life grow up more and more? Yes. So when we say prayers, see the prayers that are driven by a want. Okay. Let's say I want peace, I want happiness, I want money, I want success. When you pray for I want something, to God, to the universal consciousness, whatever that you believe into, which is the supreme power. When you send your prayers as I want happiness, the more unconsciously what you're repeating is a 50-50% chance I don't have it, hence I'm asking for it. So God may grant that prayer with 50% chances of, let's say, God saying yes, or a 50% chance of God saying no, based on what consciousness we are driven by. But instead, when we bring in the element of gratitude, so prayers of gratitude, they say, thank you, God, for giving me happiness. In your belief system, you're already affirming that you already have it. So the prayers that go as a sense of incompletion or a void that I don't have something and hence I'm asking, perhaps are already the prayers which are driven by hollow sense of a void. Those prayers may or may not be answered. However, in terms of growing on the path of spirituality, when you say gratitude as a value gets added into your prayers as a vibrational add-on, definitely you are leaving no possibility of your prayer not being answered. You already have it. So it's a gratitude-based affirmative prayer that you're doing for yourself. And of course, your subconscious mind, we all know about the power of subconscious mind, where it is 6,000 times more powerful. And when you put that sort of a prayer over and over again, the power of manifestation also increases by 6,000 times more powerfully from where you are operating with faith. So faith and gratitude-filled prayers definitely will take you ahead on the path, for sure.
Okay, I want to ask Mariella or Hassana or anyone of our audience, please confirm by message that you are seeing us uninterrupted. I am having interrupted here from my station, so please confirm to us if you are getting interruptions or you are fine.
Yeah. If you're able to hear us, please do respond. How much you got the answer that we shared?
Okay, so you are saying that we have to have a conviction while we are praying, and we have to. Okay, there is something here I want to show you. Okay, can you read?
Yes. I feel I can be in direct communication with God. I can pray. I can ask for helps. I can express God all my gratitude, my love. In conditional. Unconditional. Yes, definitely you can. You can feel vibrationally. You definitely will have sensations. So if you're tuned into more spiritual practices with meditations, you definitely know vibrationally whether how much and how far have you reached within your journey. And vibrational fulfillment, for sure, you get some indicators that whether your prayers are being heard, answered, or how. But if most of us are feeling that there is, there is a physical entity who's sitting up there to answer your prayers, it's basically your own raising of the consciousness, which is reaching out to the universe, which we all understand as the supreme God power. So I think vibrational ways of understanding and interpretations is what I think we all need to tune into. It's like how we tune into any, radio FM or channels. God can always be tuned and accessed through vibrational communication that is happening, through the universal signs that we get it in our body, tingling sensations of warm patches, or some sort of a warm touch on your shoulders. These are your guides, your ascended masters, your deities, your God, whatever faiths that you operate. You can definitely come to know whether your prayers are being answered or not, or heard or not.
Okay, Rajesh, I think I was able to add the slideshow. Are you able to see it?
Yes, I'm able to see it.
Okay. It is clear now, right? So would you like to start talking about or explaining, giving us the information about the PowerPoint? I'll be hearing you and not be watching you, so I will follow your instructions.
Yes.
So please go ahead.
So can you click on the slide number 2, because on the display it is only the title. So dimensions of happiness we've already covered. Happiness basically is a byproduct of the inner security that we feel within. So let's say, happiness does not come with fulfillment of money or people or with whom you are in a relationship with. Your fulfillment basically comes with how secure do you feel, even with whatever that you have. Let's say if you have $1 million in your bank account, but if you don't feel secured about it, that $1 million is not good enough for you to give you happiness, because then you are constantly worrying about that money being stolen, or you being cheated upon, or losing that money. So that money cannot give you happiness. It is basically the inner sense of security with which you move forward in life is where the fulfillment comes in, and hence the happiness is felt. Is again PPT going off? Bassam, are you moving away from the PPT? Let's keep it in a flow.
Okay, again, we have a problem with the PPT. We have a problem with the PPT. If you can just go ahead without the PPT, because we are having trouble.
Sure. So someone again is asking a question: what to do when you lose your soulmate who's dead now, and your energy is running low, feel tired all the time, and of course I don't feel happy. See, losing a loved one is happening because you actually based your entire happiness upon a person, and now suddenly there is a sense of void after this person has moved out of your life. All your old memories are coming in, and of course, as you can see it on the slide, the moment there is a sense of loss within us, there are a lot of chemical changes, because the way you think is the way you feel, and the way you feel internally is nothing else but these chemicals. And then that sense of well-being is also lost. So when that sense of well-being, because we all have certain survival instincts within each one of us, as I said, the lower three chakras are all about your adrenaline flow or your sacral flow, or in terms of how you control your life. And when that sense of identity goes around a person, and when suddenly that person moves out of your life, is where the most of your purpose is lost. And that is where you lose your energy, because that becomes your stressor or a drainer. So what happiness that you related to, that gave you the excitement in life, now when the person went away, that sense of purpose is lost, and hence the low energy and feeling tired all the time. And that's where the happiness is moved out. So you need to come back to your own self, that what is that one activity that you can take up in order to fulfill your own life path and life purpose, rather than looking around your existence or your reason to live around one person who's no more with you. Life doesn't end, life must go on, is where you will need to look forward to fulfillment of life through a certain purpose which can serve a larger good. Giving happiness is also receiving happiness. So look forward to the life and give yourself a purpose. I'm sure the happiness will come back, seeing a bunch of people who you can make them happy.
Great. There is a question on the screen. Can you read it?
That's the same question that I answered, Bassam, right now.
Okay. We have another one.
Yes. How is this inner security conceived? See, inner security is conceived through, when I again say, the lower chakras, when you get over with your experiences and rise above your own self-esteem to a next level of finding the awareness to realization, where I am the one who's going through these experiences one after the other, and then we are fulfilling. That fulfillment will lead to inner security. There are, of course, tools and techniques, like if you can take me to the next level, Bassam, can you take me to one of the slides which is showing those building blocks in 4 colors? Can you take me there?
1 second, yes.
So from that I will answer. Yes. Not the next one. The next one after that. 4 colors.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one. The next one. Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
Just click on that. So when we talk about the manifestation of happiness and how we want to see happiness in your life, or fulfillment or inner satisfaction, inner security, whatever that we are aiming at, because we all have these aspirations, as I said, in either the material realm or the spiritual realm. Can you just click, Bassam?
On the next one.
The next slide. Yes, that's the one. So your manifesting funnel, or what we call the four building blocks through a pipeline sort of a thing, which is having these four blocks placed above the other, where how you plan it, how you aim it, what you intend when you're asking for any inner fulfillment or security, from thoughts to emotions, how you feel about your life. Like right now, when you are saying that someone is dead and I feel very low. Now, obviously, the part which is emotionally feeling very drained and very low, the pipeline is disrupted. Like how, from emotions to energy and energy to your body and actions is where the manifestation or ground reality in which you receive the happiness. So, can we go to the next slide, Bassam?
Sure.
Whenever there is a stressor or a drainer where this block, which is the easily getting displaced, which is our emotional self or the emotional astral body, when it completely moves out, can we go to the next slide? Yes. So when this part is displaced is where there is maximum pain. So this part, when it is moved out, I need to bring it back to complete the channel of manifestation. With incompletions and void, I will not be able to manifest anything what I'm aiming at, whether in material realm or the spiritual realm. So whenever this inner fulfillment that we are talking about, that we are so healed that our all four blocks, which is thoughts, emotions, energy, and physical self, they are all completely healthy and are in complete integrity with self. That what I think is what I feel is what I flow, and what I flow is what I'll manifest. That is what I'm taking an action. So your thoughts and actions have to be congruent. When you're not able to decide for your own self, and when a part of you out of insecurity decides to take a detour or make a choice which basically you don't want to make, is where again you are creating a people pleaser personality, whereas your happiness lies into pursuing something, but you are just either pleasing your partner, you're pleasing your parents, you're pleasing your authorities, you're pleasing your boss, someone or the other. So you're not being your own self. That is where this building block is displaced, what you call the maximum degree of pain. And by being in pain, you cannot manifest happiness. You have to bring that part back into the alignment with self-fulfillment. And
Okay.
that fulfillment,
How can you do that?
how can you do that? As I said, that there are many ways where the path of spirituality, where now let's go to the next, the slide where the chakras are there. So yes, this is the slide. We are not fulfilled because of our judgments. The judgments that we pass towards the outside world and the inside of us, even including our own selves, we are judging constantly, because what in our conditioning has been is we have been judged all throughout by our parents, by our peers, by our, the society around us and the environment. So we've acquired a lot of that data, which perhaps has actually made our personality feel very low about our own selves. So through therapeutic interventions or through some sort of self-help, reading books you come across, you interact with people, someone who's ahead of you in the journey, by dropping your level of your own judgments towards others and your own self, you will be able to walk the path ahead. Because a lot of times we only put labels on ourselves or others. Our pockets are full of labels, and that is what we call the duality. Either it is good or either it is bad. Either it is wanted or not wanted. Either it is pain or pleasure. We keep vacillating between these realities. Rather, the state of the being should be in the, in the balance. The moment with gratitude, with compassion, with love, with unconditionality, these are the values when you start living your life through, is where fulfillment comes in. And that is where your true happiness and balance will begin. Automatically, where you will actually access the path of least resistance, where everything will start manifesting with ease in your life.
Yes. Are you able to see the slide?
No, I'm not able to see the slide. It's a blank. Black pen that
Okay.
I.
It looks like a blank. Yes. Uh, I don't know what to do actually. I really don't know what to do. This is the problem here.
This is, I
But
think we
I will
moved.
try to get it again. I'll try to get it again.
No problem. So, love and gratitude, love and solidarity, love and prayers to contribute to our spiritual growth, which means feeling better with ourselves, much more self estimate, better mental and physical health. Yes, that is what I mean when I say this. See, someone is also writing our life is mostly consumed to satisfy others rather than, fulfilling our own selves, which is so true. That is where I think that's where I think we are fulfilling others' needs and we are going into pleasing so that we get accepted. I think one of the basic needs that we do not want to face is rejection of others, because then that makes us feel unloved. And just to pay the price to be loved by somebody, I think we go into this pleasing part and fulfillment of somebody else's desires that you perhaps do not resonate with or you do not want to do something. That is where the whole pain cycle starts, when you want to please others. And too much ego doesn't give positive effects when you are saying it. Thank you for actually, typing all these comments. That is also giving us the direction to understand what is ego. Now, ego is basically your sense of identity, what you feel worthy or unworthy about your own self. So, ego is what I feel about myself, and ego directly relates with the self esteem. And self esteem is an outcome of the experiences that I've gone through in my life. So, my degree of happiness and my fulfillment also directly depends on how good I feel in my self esteem. How much do I compare my own life with somebody else? See, today the access of social media has also made things very difficult or worse for us, because like here I want to plan a holiday to a certain destination and somebody else has already gone to a better destination than what I planned. Now, a ready access to compare my life and my achievements with somebody else is already there. How am I going to be happy? Because there is somebody else already happier than me. And that also brings about the pain within us. There is somebody else who gets X number of likes on a certain post or a profile, and I do not even get half of them. My life is going to feel unhappy because now we are seeking fulfillment, which is outside. Outside appreciation gives me happiness, outside acknowledgement, outside, uh, you know, um, what you call the pat on my back from some authority will make me feel happy. When I get some gift, when I get something coming my way, and if I wait for those things extrinsically to make me feel happy, then the happiness is dependent on somebody. So the moment that appreciation or pat on the back doesn't come, I'm bound to get unhappy. So the idea is not to base your happiness on somebody else's acknowledgement. Your need to prove is what you need to heal in that case. And ego is an excess of self-estimate in negative version, of course. No, see again, ego, when I'm saying it, there is a positive element of ego, what I call my self-identity. If I feel good about myself, I'm definitely going to be realized person with self-awareness that, see, this is what is shaking me or this is what I can control, which is entirely coming from a certain past unhealed self, past experiences that I've had. To be loved is an inherent need of humans, yes, for sure. But when that love doesn't come is when we go into the breakdown mode, is where I think we've made too much dependent ourselves. Ourselves too much dependent on somebody else to give us love. In fact, there is something called completely depending on your own personality to love your own self, what we call the self-love concept these days. So first, complete your own self in those elements. So when I say the lower three chakras are not satiated, is when we will depend too much on the others to fulfill those areas of security, of love and compassion, or even those parts when I'm saying. So the lower chakras are driven by insecurities, incompletions, and vulnerabilities. The more we are driven by the lower three chakras is where we are going to actually build a weak foundation. You need to look for the purpose which is on the upper chakras, which are driven by love and the larger good, where we say oneness, compassion, communication, which is effortless. And that is where I think our higher purpose towards the path of spirituality, with completely dropping the judgments, will begin.
Okay, are we right? Are we still on the right slide?
Yes, yes, we are on this right slide.
Yes.
And now we can go to how the inner churning and thinking creates a different chemical state, because at times, like this love that we are saying is actually the chemical need within my body, that someone pats my back, I get a sense of, a chemical which is called oxytocin or dopamine coming in. So so you can go on the slide up, where the brain and the environment to the body and brain is connected.
Okay, I'll be there. Just a second. Go ahead until I'm able to do it.
When we depend too much on the environment to take us through a certain experience, then we are going to be driven by the conditionality. And when that condition is not fulfilled by the environment, is where the unhappiness will set in. And that unhappiness, what we are referring to, is the stress hormone that builds within our body out of rejection, out of insecurities, out of fears, out of unfulfillment of a certain desire. And hence the upset part. That much further you will go away from happiness. So one needs to actually understand that yes, there is so much that is happening chemically within us, because in our brain there are very unique chemicals as neurohormones which are coming into our body, which make us feel good or bad. This is entirely in consonance with how we feel within. And the spirituality, when I'm saying, is when we are stuck into the painful part, when we are stuck into the duality, the three-dimensional, either it is right or a wrong. We are caught up into these concept of feeling guilty, feeling angry, feeling helpless, feeling unfulfilled, is where I think we only land up sabotaging our own happy self by fulfilling the desires and pleasing for others. Yes.
Correct. So let us start with the duality. The slide will be coming in a moment. So let us talk about the duality.
No, so duality is, again, each one of us have a light side and each one of us have a dark side. The dark side is guarded always. We do not want to show this side to the world outside, is because we fear rejection. People will not like us. So if I'm getting angry on something, I repress that part. I try to put a spring that I'm trying to suppress, hold back that emotion. And you keep piling up that emotion over a period of time, which one particular day you're not able to handle, and then it blasts. Now that blast is happening is an impulsive, reactive part that you could not control. And the whole journey of life again goes into the lower three chakras, where either you're operating out of control or you're operating out of unfulfillment. Through the survival or sacral issues. In a relationship, when it happens, it goes into the sacral element, the sexual element of it. Either life is being entirely controlled through the solar, or life is being entirely controlled through money or sacral needs, or to control someone who's weaker than you. So the idea of duality is to acknowledge and hug that dark. See, when you say dark, the dark does not exist per se. It is the absence of light which is making us dark. So if we increase and embrace the light element, and that light element also goes and embraces the dark, is where the dark will turn into the light. So the duality per se is the duality that we've built in our head. Whereas what we focus keeps getting magnified. Dark doesn't have the energy of its own. The moment you are saying, God, let this not happen, God, let this not happen, let this not happen, let this not happen, you've given your entire divine element and power to manifest with only and only what I believe is only wrong is going to happen in my life, and you've built that dark side bigger than you. So what are we saying is, rather than having this dark get blown up beyond proportion in order to create that unfulfilled part of you or in your life, I'm saying focus on the light. There is enough light element which is also present in your, so by kindness, by gratitude, by compassion. Now, compassion is that element or emotion which is the highest order of love for anybody, where there is unconditionality in itself. Because even when you say, I want you to love me unconditionally, is the biggest condition that we are putting it to the person, isn't it? That I want you to love me unconditionally in a relationship. That's the biggest condition upon which you're basing a relationship. But compassion doesn't put any such conditions. You can actually pick up and be compassionate for a leaf, for a butterfly, for an insect, for any organism, including humans. When we relate from heart to heart, sort of connection, the oneness that we are talking about. So the earth curriculum or earth consciousness, when we say when we are born, it is based on entirely on the choice and a consequence. So what are we choosing to look at? Are we focusing entirely on the dark, or what are we focusing entirely, whether on the light side of us and even the person with whom we are looking at? So what you focus is what the duality, will, that part of duality is what you will magnify. So hence we choose to look at the positive, light and compassionate side within each one. And that too without judgment. Because every person who's behaving in a certain way has a story. Without going into the story, perhaps we will not be able to become compassionate towards others. Yes, there's someone saying the secret of human happiness is thinking how to contribute to universal peace, love. Our consciousness makes us feel and live in better relationships. Again, a better or worse relationship is entirely what you manifest by focusing on what you are doing in a relationship, in a committed relationship. If you keep thinking about the person and you cannot trust it, you're entirely focusing on the insecure part of you, and hence you're not able to trust the other person. A very good relationship also, you will make a mess out of it, or you land up ruining it. So in that person, you focus on the person's strength. What that person is doing good for you, that good will get magnified. So please, I would request to all of you who are present in this live interaction, to focus with compassion, love, gratitude and fulfillment energies and perspectives only on the light side of the person, because light will attract the light response from the other person. If you operate out of darkness and the lower three chakras, you are exactly going back to the same dimensions of duality and falling back to, the weak character or weak self of unfulfilled part of you. Yes, Dr. Bassam.
Yes, perfect. So I'm trying to find the last. Okay, we are almost done in the mainstream idea of what we are talking about. I will have to take off this PowerPoint. It's because it's delaying the whole story. Now,
yes.
Okay, so now let us go into more how to do it. Okay, how to reach it and how to build ourselves in a way that we become happy. Everything we have said is very much correct. We are always looking at the dark side, or we are motivated or self-directed to the dark side because we don't know how, we don't know why. So now we have the knowledge. Now, I know that we have compiled a certain curriculum or a certain very professional curriculum, workshops and courses, which is called Happiness Solutions.
Yeah, it is called the certificate course in happiness coaching and subcognitive counseling modalities. So,
So when you are talking about this, this means, are you inviting people with a certain background, or anybody can start from scratch? We have, for example, now our audience, they have the intention to go up to develop themselves, but they don't have much background. So what is the background you require?
In this curriculum that we are introducing as happiness coaching program through the organization that we represent, Happiness Solutions, it's a 1 month module 1 that we are announcing in September. What are we saying is our past experiences have built us the way we think and the way we feel. These feelings are also the outcome of the way we perceive our own world around it. See, at times you look at the world, the problem is not the problem enough, but the way you perceive it is big problem.
Yeah.
You get me? Yeah. So it is sometimes your complete distortion and insecurity based focus on the dark and things that are not working for you, to at least focusing on which is that one thing that will work for me and I should focus and manifest or move
Yeah.
forward to something like that. So there is motivation missing. We go into blame games, we go into defense mechanisms. So we actually built a curriculum that can empower or facilitate those who are already coming from a psychology, mental health, or a emotional counseling or Reiki, pranic healing, or some sort of a healing background. They also can join this curriculum and take this ahead. At the same time, those people who are also seeking self-healing and fixing their own past and painful memories, that also will help. So in this entire thing, it's learn while you heal and heal while you learn sort of a concept. So in this one entire month, 3 hours a day is what we are asking for in September in a certain time zone, which we will announce it through your channel. And these inquiries are most welcome to know more about what we do, how we'll be taking this. And this by itself can become a certificate to practice happiness coaching independently in about 52 countries approximately, which is going to be endorsed by International Association of Counselors and Therapists, IACT USA, and also the uh, Federation of Holistic Counselors, UK. Now, this is how we are going to promote this entire thing, where people can get endorsed by participating in this program. And it's a basic understanding of 3 hours a day, 6 days a week is what we are going to conduct this program. That will make you proficient to first handle your own issues, be the balanced, happy individual, and then give happiness to everyone in your environment. That's this whole curriculum all about. And perhaps depending upon the time zone, we are going to actually also divide this into weekly programs. So this is going to be 4-week experience. So one is entirely about counseling techniques. Second week goes into clinical hypnotherapy. The third week goes into neuro-linguistic programming. And the fourth week will be entirely all the practicing tools to resolve your own issue, which is reparenting therapy or V2K rescripting, and EFT, onion peel, getting to the core. Because when you want to give an assistance to somebody, diagnosis is also equally important. So the second week is entirely about the behavioral diagnosis, assessments, how will you go about assessment of the core and healing them, including your own healing journey as well. That's the curriculum all.
Perfect. So it is heal as you go. Heal as you learn. Heal yourself as you learn. That's very important. So we don't need a background of somebody who is really much into in all this knowledge of spirituality, or all we need an intention to learn and intention to heal yourself. So actually what I'm saying here is that instead of going to counselors, instead of paying per hour one-to-one sessions to heal ourselves, to heal our past, to go to life between lives, there is something important. We'll talk about it now. Life between lives. What's happening between our lives? Okay, this we'll talk about it. So all these theories will be discussed. So each one of us will be clearing himself, like taking a showering ourselves, becoming clean from all the wastes of the past, all the residues of our past experiences, whether we believe in past life or we don't believe. So whether we believe in a past life or we don't believe in past life, we have a DNA storage of all our experiences coming from our ancestors, or coming from our past lives, or coming from where we don't care. This is creating our personality. So while this workshop goes, we are clearing ourselves and cleaning ourselves. So either we can use it to help others, or we can use it for ourselves.
As you rightly said, you're not only healing your own self, but let us say if your experience is what is going to get copied into your DNA, and that DNA you are giving it to generations that are yet to come. So if you heal, there is a huge responsibility that your generations to come also will get healed of a certain pattern or a disease or something that is inherited to you. So you will be the breaker of that unhealed pattern or a belief system. Many people say, we have a lineage of depression, we have a lineage of suppression and repression. We've been victimized across, or the oaths, vows, and curses across generations, which get copied into each one of us, or family patterns. of unfulfilled lives, having lost properties, and a whole lot of that drama that we've experienced through our ancestors. You stop that so that it doesn't move forward through you, to the generations and environment that you are going to be a part of.
It's perfect, and also just to confirm what you are saying, in our healings, in different modalities, hypnosis and other modalities, sometimes we heal the mother to heal the child. So we get cases for children. Before healing the children, we have to heal the mother. When we heal the
Agree.
mother, then the child is healed himself. So this is
Yes.
very important that we are healing ourselves, we are giving the chance for our offsprings and our people to come, our coming generation to be healed and coming fresh and clean, right?
Even when you get healed with a certain thought, the moment you evolve to the next level of spirituality, as we are going to grow, and when we pass and work on our own judgmental part, you are also going to be facilitating people within your environment. So your husband, your spouses, your parents, your neighbors, your friends, your family, everybody, you will be able to touch their lives. So not necessarily go out and practice it professionally, but you will only be able to, even through the learnings and teaching that comes, you'll be able to deal with your anxiety, you'll be able to deal with your fears, you'll be able to deal with your success issues and the stressors and drainers in the emotional, that displaced part and emotional side that we showed, the maximum pain and turn that into harmony for yourself. It will all be in your own control. You will not have to go outside and get it done. And this
Yeah.
can also be your own career to future. If you really like it, please take it up as a career. And coaching is the term that we are using, because internationally anybody can become a coach, because coaching comes from the sports background. So anybody can become a life coach or a happiness coach to coach somebody to live a fulfilled life. That is legally permitted everywhere in the world with our certification. Anybody can go and coach. So there are no legal hassles as well across countries. When we call it happiness coaching, coaching can be a career for sure.
Exactly. And this reminds me, during the course of my life when I was studying all these modalities, I was asked questions. Why do you want to learn pranic healing and Reiki and Theta healing and at the same time hypnotherapy and NLP and all these modalities? Why don't you stick to one thing? The good thing about this workshop that you are talking about is that you are getting these modalities together, and then the residue, the balance here, is the cocktail that you will be using regardless of what you have learned.
Because the person as a client who's going to come to you can come to you with any issue. The person may come to you with a body issue, the person may come to you with a meridian issue, or the way energy is not flowing well. Someone may come to you for emotional issue or addictions or psychosomatic disease. See, each person is going to come to you either with a thought or a faulty belief. Now, belief to emotions to energy to physical body, there are 4 layers that you have to heal. So hence you need to have modalities for all 4 layers of life. You can't just
Exactly.
work. So your toolkit can have 20 tools. Which one will you use? It is your choice as a therapist. That's your expertise. But you got to be empowered with everything so that you can heal everything. I've actually healed and helped with our curriculum. Allergies we've helped, psychosomatic cases in terms of lactose intolerance, vasculitis we've dealt with, cervical spondylitis that we've treated people with. We've got results with it. Thyroidism that we've worked with, diabetes that we've worked with. All these clients have shown profound change in them and transformation. And this
Perfect.
empowers you to take this through and through.
Yes.
Not just only as a. And the beauty about this curriculum is that it is hands-on practice. So there are online sessions that you are doing live under supervision. And then there is a practice, there is a weekly follow-up. So the course ends in 1 month, but there is 6 months of support that comes. So there are in all 3 modules. So module 1, module 2, module 3, that makes you the international practitioner. Once you
Perfect.
complete module.
Yeah, that's very important. We will have another talks about it, other interviews, because many people they have a specific question about this curriculum. So we'll shed the light on that in future interviews.
Sure. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Okay, then we are now almost 60 minutes. I really thank you so much, Rajesh. It was really very important information that we are going to share. This video will be as well shared by you and me, and will be also on Facebook, and we will be recorded for YouTubers as well. Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
my pleasure to have you.
Being a part of this conversation. Thank you so much, Dr. Bassam.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Thank
day.
you. Have a great day. Thanks for everybody. I want to thank the audience,
Thank you so much.
and everybody who was here. It was perfect. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you.